The sixth process of the Align, Plan and Organize domain, called Manage Budgets and Costs, has 5 practices. The first practice is to manage finance and accounting from an IT perspective. The entities that are responsible for this practice are the Value Management Office and the Head IT Administration. The entity that is held accountable is the Chief Financial Officer. The practice receives one input, which is the Asset Register from the BAI9 process. It generates 3 outputs, which are the accounting processes, the IT cost classification schemes, and the financial planning practices, all to be used internally. The activities involved in this practice include defining the processes and responsibilities of the IT budgeting and costing in alignment with the enterprise policies, which should ensure transparent, fair, and comparable IT costs and benefits estimations. Classification schemes for IT costs should be defined and allocated across budgets. The financial information should be used when assessing new IT investments, and the budget control and reporting should be defined and analyzed. The practices for financial planning should be defined, enabling informed decision-making and the optimization of operational costs. The second practice is to prioritize resource allocation. The entities that are responsible are the Chief Financial Officer and the Head IT Administration. The entity that is held accountable is the Chief Information Officer. The practice receives several inputs that include the evaluation of investment portfolios from the EDM2 process, and the investment return expectations from the APO05 process. The practice generates 2 outputs, which are the prioritization of IT initiatives to be used by the APO05 process, and the budget allocations to be used by several APO processes and the BAI3 process. The activities involved in this practice include establishing the decision-making mechanism and entities to prioritize IT resources to be allocated, including budget allocations to IT programs and services, such as deciding between developing the assets or outsourcing the required services. All IT initiatives should be ranked based on the strategic plans, and procedures for budget allocations should be established. IT changes that will affect the strategic plans should be approved by the Executive Committee. The third practice is to create and maintain budgets. From a RACI charts perspective, the entities that are responsible are the Chief Information Officer and the Head IT Administration, and the entity that is held accountable is the Chief Financial Officer. The practice receives no inputs, but generates 2 outputs, which are the IT budget and plan, and the budget communications to be used by several APO processes and the BAI3 process. The activities involved in this practice include implementing an IT budget that includes the expected IT costs. The factors to consider when implementing the budget include ensuring the alignment with the business objectives, identifying the sources of funding, and analyzing the capital and operational expenses. The service and program managers should participate in the budget planning process. The budget plans should be reviewed and adjusted based on the enterprise needs. The approved budget should be maintained and communicated, and the effectiveness of the budgeting process should be monitored to ensure more accurate future budgets.